Hi, I'm Dina, local artist here on St. Simons Island, Georgia. And I'm here with Stephanie Cante at Glynn Visual Arts, and she is the program manager, and I'm gonna let you take it from here.
So welcome to Glynn Visual Arts here on St. Simons. We are the local nonprofit art center here in the Golden Isles. We've been around for almost 75 years. And in addition to 8 exhibitions a year, as you'll see with Gary Grace's exhibition, we provide over 6,000 art interactions annually through workshops, classes, our mobile art creation station, which brings art out into the community. We have a number of community collaborations that we work on with Second Harvest of Coastal Georgia, as well as our main fundraiser, the St. Simons Island Wine Festival, which supports arts and education here in the Golden Isles. So we'd love for you to come down to the center. We're open Tuesday through Saturday, 10 to 5, and find out how you can get involved with the arts here in our community at home.
We are here today because we have a huge surprise for you. We are gonna meet one of the most talented artists here in Glynn County, Gary Grace, AKA Gato. Let's go check out the art.
Let's do it.
I am here with Gary Grace, AKA Gato. We are here in the Portman Gallery here at Glynn Visual Arts, and I am just blown away with this show. The name of the show is
From Still to Salt.
I want you to tell me where you're from, how you got here to the coast of Georgia. Let's just start out from the beginning.
Okay, so I was born and raised in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, the home of the Pittsburgh Steelers, the Penguins, and the Pirates.
So, raised in Pittsburgh,
Yes.
your mother was an interior designer
Yes, and an upholsterer.
and upholsterer. I guess growing up in a family with an interior designer, that's where you get your good personality from, probably, and
Yes.
your flair for art and design.
Well, my mother was a fantastic interior designer, an upholsterer, and when she would come home from the Art Institute, she would bring her illustration boards, and it would have the fabrics on them, and would have the renderings, her techniques, and a bunch of notes. Well, I would pick up those illustration boards and just feel the fabrics, and it just was so intriguing. So I learned all about fabrics many, many years ago. I know cheap fabric. Soon as I touch it, I can look at the patterns and know which ones are going to pick apart.
Mm-hmm.
So just being around those guys, just having those two parents, they helped, they really shaped me to be who I am today.
And that's, I mean, we're all influenced by our parents probably the most, and then the friends we hang out. And I know that you're like the total package artist. You're an artist, you're a drummer, you're a designer of clothes, you've had your own brand.
Yes.
You're a multifaceted artist. You're so gifted in the art community and what you do. When you're working on something, how do you say, okay, I'm gonna, work in this or that? Or are you just every day it's something different? You see things different. How do you decide? Is that
So how I decide to do things is, the first thing I have to do is wake up. And one time up, it may be something that I thought about earlier in the week. It could be something that actually comes to me that I've had somewhere in my repertoire from 7 months ago, and it just speaks to me that day. But the thing that really helps me to go is the thought of just doing it. Every day I wake up and I say to myself, just do it. And so I set myself up to do it. I'm gonna jump around just a little bit more. I have dyslexia, and as a dyslexic person, to be gifted with the affliction, if one would want to call it that, dyslexia has helped me to become the superhero that I know I am. And because of the reworking of my brain, because it doesn't take the same neural pathways to get to a conclusion, or some solution, I think laterally and vertically. So I have the ability to think in basically 360. But the thing with dyslexia, it's like kryptonite. You throw stuff into the room that would make Superman break down to his knees, but when you remove it, he's back with full strength. And dyslexia is that for me. But nonetheless, I wouldn't trade it for the world, because I was able to be successful in many facets based on having that disability that was actually not hindering to me. It just actually enhanced everything that I am today.
So tell me, what are the challenges of being an artist and having dyslexia? Now, I would think the biggest challenges of having dyslexia is when you were small and a child and trying to hide that, you know, especially as you're younger, you know, in your mind, you know, you don't want to be different. You want to always fit in and fit that mold that people say that you're supposed to be. But us as artists, we're always different.
Yes.
And then when you have dyslexia thrown on top of that, then you're extra different.
Oh yeah.
So tell me how that was.
Well, I was always an artist, but I had this innate ability to be able to build anything. My friends would bring me stuff in a box, and I could just look at the pieces and put it together. But as an artist, it actually made it so easy for me to take abstract concepts and just work with everything and anything. I don't really think a lot of times when I'm creating abstract pieces, unless it's something that has to be thought-provoking.
So that's really not a hindrance to you anymore. It's more like a gift.
Yes, that's why I say it's the gift of dyslexia.
The gift of dyslexia. We'll have to remember that one, the gift of dyslexia. That is a good one. So now I want you to just tell me just a little bit about the art. We're here in this beautiful gallery.
Thank you.
And behind us is some incredible art. If we want to just take a few seconds and hop up, and so we can just walk around and stretch our legs.
That works
I
for
want
me.
to talk
Let's
about
do
some
it.
of this art.
Oh boy.
So, Gato, this painting here is the star of the show. It is a showstopper for sure, with all the beautiful colors. It grabs your attention right off the bat. I remember walking through that door the night of your opening and going, wow. So tell me about this, the flowers, the background, the whole story.
So the flowers replace the actual face of any individual. This is the representation of all walks of people. And the arms represent giving people their flowers or not giving them their flowers. This right hand would be the arm that has the least amount of bandages on it. It's translucent, and that means that you gave them their flowers. This left arm represents the people that did not give them their flowers. And so it's heavily bandaged. They have much regret. The positioning is important. The subject is actually presenting the individuals with their flowers. So the subject itself has no regret because it's actually giving the person their flowers while they're alive.
Right. This is a beautiful piece. I could just see this in anybody's living room with all the beautiful colors. You have to really see this piece up close. All the teeny tiny little dots in the roses and the raised places. It just kind of plays with the light and it makes it shine like it's glitter.
Yes, so this piece is actually acrylic, but it presents itself as oil. And the background is my Gato and Grace Maison pattern. And that's the new reemergence of my fashion brand. So with this piece, when we launch the new line, it will just be scarves, handkerchiefs, wristlets, and neckties. It will have this pattern. The colors may change, but the pattern stays the same.
That's awesome. I love it. I've got to have a scarf. I've got to have a scarf. This piece is also very striking. When you come in the door and you see this bright red burst. It's like a flower explosion. Tell me about it.
So this piece is the COVID flower, and the red, these areas right here represent blood clots. The center represents the actual nuclei of the COVID virus itself. And the brown up top is the excretion after the blood has been drawn into it and excreted outward. And this is the spent blood that has been contaminated. Now, it's a beautiful piece, but it is the COVID flower.
Well, how about that? I would have never, me as an optimist, look at it totally different. It's so interesting how different people see art.
Yes.
So, when you start talking about the nucleus, and I see that, I see what they showed on TV as the COVID virus, this thing.
Yeah, oh my gosh.
Yes. So now we're gonna move over here. Now I love this hummingbird and the giraffe, and again, we have the background, the Gato and Grace.
Yes, this is the original concept piece. The thing that came to me and how this all started is truly the art is the pattern is the art. How could I create a piece of art that would be able to be recognized in a sea of other art? So I decided to bring my fashion into this, and the bird was the concept. The last thing about this, I also wanted to be the first artist to have a trademark pattern for my canvas. That was the end goal. And so right now we are in litigation, sort of kinda with the government, trying to make sure that this pattern is my trademark pattern.
That is awesome. I guess it's the whole idea and how it came about. It's like, I've got this great pattern, and with this pattern, I'm going to put stuff on top of it, and that's what you're saying.
Yes.
The art is the pattern,
The pattern
and
is
the pattern is art.
See, and every piece, like let's go over to this blue piece here. This one is called Costa Rica Coastline #2. And it's made from tar, oil paint, airbrush, and a latex.
Well, so this really, I see the steel of the show.
The steel that comes from this is the metallic. So for me, that's the emergence of the steel and the salt and the sand. Costa Rica has black sand around the volcanoes, so that's why it ended up like this.
With the black.
Yes.
And then the real shiny black.
Yes.
Is that your asphalt?
No, that's actually oil paint.
That's oil paint, okay.
Yes, that's oil paint.
And I know you can't really see this on camera, but the texture in this piece almost looks like waves crashing here.
Yes.
I mean, there's a lot of thick texture.
When I created this piece, God is my witness, my hands were moved. Yes, I was there, but I swear it was like an outer body experience. This is the only painting that I've ever experienced just being on autopilot.
So this is one of the most interesting pieces to me, and I look at this and I see these real distressed faces, bloodshot eyes, just a lot of turmoil. What's going on in this painting?
So this piece is Silence After the Crash. So how the story goes is that he arrives at a bar, already inebriated, meets this woman. She appears to him upside down because he's been drinking that much. She blows him off and goes on about her business. He sits in this chair, listening to music, drinking from this bottle, holding that glass with that hand, and then he starts hallucinating because he had already consumed some kind of narcotic, some type of pills. And so he started seeing bugs, fish, birds, bats. And so then the bartender cuts him off. He leaves the place, gets in a car, and he started smoking marijuana. And there's the marijuana joint and the colorful flavors that come from it. He's holding the joint in this hand, but as he was speeding along, he crashed into this wall after losing control, flips his car over. This is his car in an open field. This is him inside of the car, grimacing with pain, blood coming out of his head, eyes are bloodshot red. He wakes up in the hospital, and this is him wrapped up like a mummy, and his mouth is bound, and that's why it's called Silence After the Crash.
Silence after the crash. Well, at least he's alive.
Yes, he's alive, and he didn't hurt anybody most of all.
Oh, thank goodness.
But I'm sure that he needed.
Was this a dream, or is this a story that happened?
So the story, there was a friend of ours. His name is Kevin Pullen. He is a sculptor, and he challenged my art group with create a piece of art that could tell a story when no one's around, and for you not to be able to talk about the story. So this was my concept of, and this is Silence After the Crash.
What a great piece here.
Oh, so let me show you this piece
All
over
right,
here.
I'm ready.
Oh, this guy here. This piece is the Belbo tree, and it is made from roofing tar. So you see this shiny area here? It was separated from this globular pieces. They're one and the same. This is petroleum. The rest of it is oil. And it's really a dangerous proposition to create this piece, because I had to wear a respirator, a smock, gloves up to here, eyewear and face wear, because this thing it's like a cauldron.
Right.
It's bubbling like bloop, bloop. And so you really have to be careful when I made this piece. I only made one of them so far.
So this is hot, very, very hot.
When I separate them, they are hot. It is hot.
So what is the process of the oil paint on here? How do you get, is it first? Is it last? Is it in between?
It's all at the same time. So I added the colors first on the canvas, then I added petroleum while it was hot, but it actually was out here, and I moved it into sections so it would be concentrated. And that's how I got it to separate, was merging the two together, then adding the globulars at the end.
I just love this piece because of the texture of the tar,
Yes.
and then the smoothness of the petroleum, and how it kind of almost has like an iridescent.
Here's the beautiful thing. So I had, one of my collectors had this on the wall, and there was a television in the room. And so as the television went from commercial, whatever it was doing, different scenes, the light would move on this petroleum. So that painting actually started dancing. And I was not aware that that was going to happen until it was up in the space.
Well, this I'm sure will find a home. It's a fabulous piece.
Yes, and there's only one of them.
And there is only
Yes.
one. So we have been here all afternoon, so I'm going to wrap this up. And I know you've already hinted to me about what's next, and we do want to hear again about the new line coming out real quick.
Yes, so the Gato and Grace Maison pattern, December of 2026 will be the launch of that new brand, but the new artwork is the ultra noir pieces, the emergence from black, and that is going to be, some of it's a little disturbing, some of it is just thought-provoking.